Trump breaking news. A new report shows extreme anti-free speech codes at American universities. This is absolutely true. A student was investigated by Stockton University for the offense of having Donald Trump set as his Zoom background. A harassment inquiry was initiated by American University against students who were pro-choice and had spoken out against the abortion decision made by the Supreme Court. An investigator from Syracuse University went on a somewhat risque scavenger hunt with another student. This repressive, fun-killing, anti-free speech climate has infected our system of higher education, and these colorful incidents of campus hostility toward free express from recent years aren't an exception, according to a new analysis from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE. 0.85% of America's colleges and universities maintain speech codes that threaten free expression, according to FIRE's annual Free Speech Report, which was released today. The survey reviewed 489 schools and universities. According to how stifling their regulations are on student expression, it gave each school a grade of red, yellow, or green. Unsurprisingly, a number of highly prestigious schools were rated as red light for extremely tight regulations, while other prestigious schools were rated as yellow light for less severe but nonetheless restricted practices. The truth is that many American universities still uphold liberal practices that limit free speech, despite the fact that it is both a fundamental human right and the very essence of our nation. College students and their parents aren't the only ones who should be worried about this. Why? The reason being that censorious attitudes do not remain on campus, assuring us that individuals would grow out of it once they entered the real world. People used to brush off campus violence as a small group of extremists. On the contrary, we've noticed that a large number of college grads carry the anti-free speech attitude they developed while they're into their professional lives in government, industry, and technology. Progressive Joe Rogan is one of the most popular voices on Spotify, but now staff are openly trying to silence him because he says things they don't agree with or think are wrong. A spectacular walkout by Netflix employees occurs as a protest against the streaming service's decision to play Dave Chappelle's popular specials, which contain jokes about transgender people. Some incompetent New York Times computer support staff feels entitled to decide what kinds of thoughts can't appear on the opinion page. It's disheartening that some influential individuals have internalized such open antipathy against free speech, but it's hardly shocking. Many people's lives are profoundly impacted by their time spent in college, as they mature into adults and get ready for the workforce. Is it surprising that students absorb this message since the campus cultures they are a part of are anti-free speech? People who grew up sipping this Kool-Aid will be hard to persuade that their perspective is incorrect. Therefore, although some may be persuaded, the only way to solve this problem is to identify and eliminate its causes. Furthermore, college administrators with strong ideological convictions will hardly suddenly become rational. We need to make sure that public institutions and colleges uphold free speech and pass laws to safeguard it. Openness is the starting point, and organizations like FIRE are leading the way in this regard. However, being open and honest won't make a difference unless we also take action. John Fetterman's disappearance has spurred his wife to finally speak out, after her sudden withdrawal from social media prompted conjecture over her motives. Senator John Fetterman's wife has now spoken up. Many on social media have speculated that Giselle Barreto Fetterman's recent account deletions from Instagram and X, previously Twitter, are related to her husband's rumored political shift. Last month, Fetterman, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, was accused of undercutting Barreto Fetterman, who had previously spoken on the necessity to effectively address the surge of migrants at the southern border. Originally from Brazil, Barreto Fetterman and her family immigrated to the United States when she was 7 years old. At one point, she was an undocumented immigrant. 5 years after receiving her green card in 2004, she became a citizen of the United States. The constant backing of Israel by Barreto Fetterman's spouse in the midst of the country's confrontation with Hamas has also made her social media accounts the object of a deluge of hate speech in recent weeks. One X user, at Schizarella, went viral on Tuesday with the announcement that Fetterman's wife Giselle deletes all pictures with him on social media. She shared a snapshot of Barreto Fetterman's account, which had been erased, to back up her claim. more than 7.5 million people have seen the post as of this writing. The Instagram account of Barreto Fetterman was likewise deleted a few hours later, according to a follow-up post by the same ex-user. In the midst of speculation about what may or may not have caused her sudden withdrawal from social media, Barreto Fetterman sent a message to her over 220,000 followers and activated her X account. Again, in a Tuesday post, she said, "I would be taking a break from social media." She had already mentioned this intention several months ago. "I was bored with it. I am a Pisces, it wasn't adding anything to my life. But leaving social media is somehow more exhausting than having it." According to an X post made by Barreto Fetterman on November 17, she announced that she was 3 weeks into a social media hiatus that may continue another month or forever. Using the term spouse to describe another person is demeaning and demeaning. As an aside, are you aware that male spouses are not subjected to such treatment? PSS. I will not be providing you with any more adorable animal pictures of this kind. On January 23, Barreto Fetterman defended her husband, putting an end to rumors that she and Fetterman are at differences over the southern border. Shamari Stone, an anchor for Fox 5 DC, shared coverage of Fetterman's remarks on the subject on January 22 on X. The 300,000 illegal immigrants flooding the southern border pose a threat to the American ideal, according to Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, who is a Democrat. The senator stated to CNN host Jake Tapper, "I absolutely don't get why it's controversial to say we need a secure border." As one ex-user remarked, @Giselle Fetterman has been refreshingly and soberingly honest about initially being undocumented, tagging Barreto Fetterman. The phrase illegal immigrant was coined by politicians a long time ago. It is harsh of John Fetterman to say that. "I've had enough of him." A screenshot from a Newsweek article showing her husband's exact quotes from his interview with Tapper was posted by Barreto Fetterman after the piece went viral. She made the statement, "Friends, this is the actual quote," and included the phrase, "We all have to all be better than sharing fake news." Fetterman told Tapper in the border scene, "It's possible to be strongly in favor of immigration and still insist on a safe border. Please don't compromise on either of these issues. It appears very impossible to deliver the American dream to any immigrant when 300,000 individuals come up at our border. It appears like we could use a fresh start and collaborate on a more all-encompassing answer. I don't get why it's controversial to say we need a secure border," Fetterman added elsewhere in the interview. "My staunch support for immigration has been well documented. In fact, Republicans used it as a weapon against me during my campaign. An origin story exists regarding my wife's family. While conservatives like Donald Trump Jr. have praised Fetterman for his remarks on the border and the Middle East, a poll of 1,680 Pennsylvania registered voters conducted between January 4 and 8 by the New York Times/Siena College found that young liberals are losing support for Fetterman. The poll found that more young liberals sympathize with Palestine than Israel. The study found that just 28% of those in the 18 to 34 age bracket think highly of Fetterman. On the other hand, 46% had a negative impression of the senator, and 27% claimed they didn't know enough to have an opinion.